Welcome to another episode of the State of the Bulldogs with Sam, Mike, Jeb, and Grant. Boys, tennis officially is going to the NCAA tournament. We have the matchup. We'll talk about that in a minute. Samford introduced a new Hall of Fame class for 2025, and baseball, softball. Some interesting developments as we reach the end of those seasons. But first, Grant, basketball staff update. So we have been a little mum on this until everything was made official.
Well, they either share the same last name as him, or they have worked at Lipscomb prior. So they're which
Shocker.
which his son Will did work at Lipscomb before working at Montevallo last year. So yeah, just go down the list with starts with Tyler Murray, who's Lipscomb's associate head coach for 1 year. He was the assistant coach for 5, got promoted to associate head coach for 1. He's going to keep that same title at Samford. He was in line to get the Lipscomb job when A-Cup left, but they gave it to a D2 hire in Trevecca, who's also a former Lipscomb assistant. So he'll be coming over. He's worked previously at Furman for 2 years, from 2018 to 2019. He was also a head coach at Shorter for two seasons. Next assistant, Vince. Sorry.
He coached at Furman?
Yeah.
Isn't that a disqualifier?
Maybe it's exactly what we need to actually beat Furman this time.
Anyway,
they're basically the Boston Celtics. I thought that's what we're talking about. Vincent Martin also reported he's going to keep his same title at Lipscomb. Lipscomb assistant head coach for 2 seasons. Also has SoCon experience. He was an AC at ETSU for 1 season and Jacksonville U before that. And then the coach, Acuff's son Will Acuff, has been announced as an associate head coach and scouting and director of scouting plus player development. He was an assistant at Montevallo last year before being an assistant at Lipscomb and director of basketball ops for 2 seasons. And then Peyton Mattingly fills the 4th assistant role and chief of staff. He was Lipscomb's video coordinator and Dobo last season, and then he was also a Lipscomb student manager for 4 seasons, so he's been with ACA for a while. So there you go. There's your staff full of Lenny's son Will, and then 3 other Lipscomb assistants coming over and joining Samford.
Grant, do you know if the entire Samford staff went to A&M, or did some of them filter off somewhere else?
Mitch Cole, and he hasn't been announced yet, but David Good is also going to be down there. I don't know what his official title, but he won't be an assistant coach, but Bucky, he loves his big staff, so he'll have a title for whichever one down there. And then
what about Xmas?
Neb, I don't know if he's landed anywhere yet. Same with Danny Young and Lorenzo Jenkins. Those were Bucky's 3 other assistants that were under his staff. And then one guy that is staying is Thomas Owen, who was the director of basketball ops. He's keeping that same title under Acuff. And same with Trey. Sorry, Trey, I forget his last name. He is the strength coach, basically, for Samford basketball. So
good for them. Good for them. Especially as an ops guy, that's probably pretty nice to be able to stay put. Because, well, one, I guess it's also valuable for the coaching staff. Yeah. They're not going to have to navigate the SoCon schedule blind.
Trey Kilgore. Sorry, Trey. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, go ahead.
They're going to have the logistics guy with them the whole time. That's pretty sweet. Of all the guys to stay, that's pretty important for the transition of the program. Any portal updates?
None since we last spoke. We did get a commitment from Zach Lamy, a guard from, you guessed it, Lipscomb. He appeared in 11 games last year, so I assume he'll be another redshirt since he only, again, played in 11 games in garbage time, stuff like that. So he's coming over from Lipscomb as well.
How big?
6'3", 6'4".
Okay. Can he shoot?
That is a great question. We need to find
out. That's all
out.
I care about, Grant. That's all I care.
Yeah, 6'3", 175. He's from Birmingham, actually. Went to Briarwood Christian, so he's coming back home to be...
they have basketball at Briarwood?
Stay with it. They do have basketball at Briarwood, yeah.
Are they good at Briarwood?
They have basketball at Briarwood, yeah.
Okay, that's right. That tracks. I did notice, guys, Claire Johnson has not really posted anything on social media. Telling? Hard to say. Hopeful? Yes, of course, because there's nothing set in stone that she is for sure leaving Samford, although she is officially in the portal. Yeah. Just saying. There hasn't been any divorce from the university on the socials, which sometimes means they're testing the water and may come.
Hey, you know the kids these days, they just change that social right away when something new happens, right?
I mean, they kind of do. Don't they, Mike?
Did it happen if you didn't put it on socials first?
No, it didn't.
Exactly.
We follow the follows. We'll go check out her follows. We do the same thing for men's. Well, we'll do the same. You follow the follows.
Granted, I don't have a TikTok or Snapchat, and she might just be posting all of her visits and whatnot there. But
People still use Snapchat?
yeah, it's
Yeah.
made a comeback.
Yeah.
It's made,
Maybe
I
she
don't know.
posted
Actually,
on Yik Yak. We don't probably missed it.
I do not have an account on there for the record.
Yik Yak. I haven't been on Yik Yak since Step Sing
Exactly.
2014
That's how you
or
got through
whenever.
step sing.
Yeah.
That's so Yik
Unfortunately,
Yak.
Furman grads created that app, so we don't use it anymore at Samford.
What they did, I didn't know that.
All these Furman connections are killing me today.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll let the assistant journalist out there, if she does put something on her Snapchat, whatever, they can send it to me. I'm not gonna venture on that, but yeah.
Yeah. But no hard evidence that she is looking around. We'll see. Guys, we have a lot of listener questions, so we gone away from that for I guess the latter half of the basketball season into the baseball season, but we're back asking people what they have on their minds, and we got a lot of questions. Mike, we're going to start with you. This is a broad one. It's also April 28th.
It's also hard to answer.
Not sure why we're talking about this, but Micah Strawn asked predictions for next year's basketball season.
You said you started with me. I'm going to say,
Yeah, good luck. Yeah.
Substantially higher than I thought they would be before HoF was hired. I would say substantially higher than I thought they would, things would be after the HoF's first week or so. But very pleased with the portal additions that we've had.
Mike likes the exciting whites.
Potential starting five, here in a second.
That's right.
I feel like we're probably going to finish like third or fourth in the SoCon, but I think that's pretty solid for first year coach.
I think that's what I'm feeling, Mike. Third or fourth in the regular season. I didn't think we were going to be back to bottom feeders just because we have VMI and Citadel to hold us up.
You got to think that things have gone as smoothly as possible, considering the 100%. Turnover and having essentially one player on the roster when he took over. Definitely helps that he recruited similar level of players at Lipscomb and kind of in the same regions, so brought a lot of those guys over. But we've got pretty much a full roster. I think we probably still need another guard, maybe a couple guards.
We need a few more guys.
We're looking pretty good.
I think we need. I mean, if we're banking on well, we're bleeding a little too much into the other question. We'll get to that in a second. Predictions for next year. Basketball.
We still have 5 roster spots to fill, so it's hard to answer. But Mike did a good job with it. I don't think, Sam, you talked about it last week that our floor has been raised, that we're not going to fall to where we were before Bucky got here, right? So we'll still be around the same.
Presumably,
kind of middle of the pack, and who knows? Obviously, other teams around the conference have been hit hard by guys leave. Basically, every all-conference guys, it's gone basically, right? But Chattanooga's had some good pieces. Furman has too. So again, still a lot to go when it comes to that. But I think same for Samford. We can still finish in the middle of the pack too, for sure. And then if it gets even higher than that, great. First years are always going to be tough no matter what. But again, with the conference, the way the whole rosters have shaken out with the conference, there's still a little bit of wiggle room to not have a 6th or 7th finisher do like what Western did last year and completely fall off since they lost their whole team too last year and their coach.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, Grant. UTC, I did see signed a nice D2 guard, another Jakari, who popped up on our radar for some reason.
He visited Samford the week before he visited Chattanooga, committed to Chattanooga. Then a week later posted a TikTok of him wearing a Samford jersey.
That's right. That's right.
That said 1 week you're visiting Samford, the next week the coach goes to Texas A&M.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's what it was.
But he's back. He's officially with UTC. Well, as official as these things are.
Official.
Okay, so let's get to Emery Williams' question. So, big supporter of the pod. Emery asked, projected starting 5 for the current basketball roster. Well, considering we only have about 8 dudes, I feel like that's pretty easy. Oh, maybe we got more than 8 guys. We got those guys plus Zion and Caleb.
Yeah, now I need to figure it out. Let's see, to the Bulldogs.com, go sign up. Well, there's no point.
Obviously,
There's no point
Yeah.
guard on the roster, which is Jaden Booth has played some point guard, but I kind of like him at the 2 a little bit more when it comes to putting your starting 5. So you would go Portal at the 1, Booth at the 2, Faulkner at the 4, Faulkner maybe at the 5, Pollard at the 4, then Portal at the 3.
Why not
But
Zion at the 3?
Zion. Yeah, sorry,
What
Zion. I
about
forgot.
that
6'5"?
Judson kid? I'm not even going to try to pronounce his last name. The Union transfer. He's pretty solid.
I mean, I think who's our 5? It's Caleb, just Caleb, right?
Yeah, Caleb.
Maybe Jackson Pollard.
Pollard
But he's
6'7".
6'9".
Faulkner 6'9". He played some 5 at Lipscomb before he got hurt. So I mean, but he's only
6'9" ain't big enough.
He's only listed at 215 too. So I don't know how that would go. So yeah, you still need a starting
That
big
kid
man.
better get ready to get roasted by us if we were crapping on Riley Allensbach at 250 pounds getting pushed around at 215. Boy, that guy better put on some weight.
Yeah, you need a starting big man. A lot of teams, in fact, even our old coach in College Station needs a starting 4 or 5 guy. I mean, everybody needs bigs when it comes to that. But
yeah, I feel like
it's kind of tough with no point guard.
Point guard's the only hard part. I mean, Zion and Caleb are 2 out of your 5. And then pick one of the good guards and stick that 6'9" or one of the 6'7" shooters at the 4, and you're ready to roll.
Yep.
I mean, Jaden Booth can definitely handle that. I think I'm with you, Grant. I would prefer him at the 2, but he could definitely handle it if we don't have anybody else.
Yep.
But I think given how prolific of a scorer he is and the style of offense that HoF runs, he would be better suited at the 2 spot.
Yeah.
Do you think it's safe to say he should be the star of the team next year?
I've had somebody tell me potential SoCon player of the year, but I think that's a little bold.
Yeah, after our huge swing and a miss this season, we should chill out on
He's
that.
pretty solid
on the
though.
transfers.
I mean, he's the real deal. So we'll see.
He seems like it.
If it can translate up to D1, but I mean, he played high level D2 basketball and absolutely dominated.
Any of the high school kids, I mean, they're guards. One of them's a walk on, but
yeah, Gossett's 6'6", so he's a bigger guard too. So maybe
that's nice.
You can watch again the way. If you're watching on YouTube, I did a mid show edit to the website so now you can see it.
Pretty impressive, Grant.
Yeah, quick on my feet.
Well,
yeah.
I missed that.
Oh, see, boom! Look at that.
Look at that. Well,
Look at
Mike
that.
is the boomer of the group, so
Only you and him kind of have a debate.
Yeah. Chill. I just had to say it first, so then it can't be me.
Yeah, you guys are old.
Anchoring bias.
I'm only 28 over here. Gossett 6'6", Huntsville Cooper, his dad, just went into the Samford Hall of Fame, so that's pretty cool. Point guard spot, kind of a spot you need to fill up, and there is a point guard they've reached out to, and point guard, he's from Radford. We can complete the Lucas Walls trade. We can go Lucas Walls for this guy. Tony Felder, 5'10", 175 guard, started his career at VMI, averaged 10 points a game at VMI, then moved over to Stonehill College, and then had his 3rd year at Radford, so he's back in the portal.
So out on this guy. I couldn't be more out on this guy. That's the worst path I think I could imagine.
To go to VMI and somehow transfer to worse schools.
Yeah,
and there was a coaching change too at VMI, so that kind of plays into it too.
To Radford, Mike. To Radford.
Hey, Radford's
no
a
offense,
solid
Lucas.
program.
No, it's not. But no offense, Lucas. We still love you.
We need to complete the trade. We can go this guy for Lucas. We've already about to complete our trade with A&M. We need to complete our trades over here.
All right. So that's our starting 5 without a full roster. Thank you, Emery, for that question. Keep
shout out
coming.
to Portal. Yeah, shout out to Portal player.
Bama Man. Took me a minute to understand this guy's username, but Bama Man asked, any Portal additions for the Lady Dogs? To my knowledge, we've had one, and that was 3.5 weeks ago. She did this was before the coaching change. Importantly, she retweeted the new coach's hire post that Samford made. So, I don't know. I guess she's still with us. Grant, what's her name?
Sydney Barton, transfer from Northern Kentucky. Let me pull up our women's tracker as well. We've had just
one more reason why Claire should stay. No idea if Claire's from Paducah, right?
Yes.
I don't know if that's Northern Kentucky, but it's Kentucky.
Yeah, I forgot, but yeah, it is Kentucky. You are correct. Yeah, Samford women have 4 open spots, and this is the roster as it sits today with 3 freshman guards, and then Sydney coming in from Northern Kentucky, who's apparently still staying locked in with Samford, so pretty cool. And then you've got Kenya Langham and Claire Johnson, your top 2 leading scorers from last year in the portal. Alanya Walden's found a spot in North Florida. Jada Knight's still out there, but yeah, all ours are kind of on Claire to kind of see where she goes and go from there.
I mean, the nice thing is with Bowman, your floor is set. Bowman will lead you to at least a subpar conference season. So we just need to find a few shooters. Hopefully bring Claire back. That would help. Yep. Birmingham Sports asked, who from HoF's current roster should basketball fans be most excited about? Mike, we're going to go to you first. Who on the current roster should we be most excited about? We kind of talked about it, but
we asked about guys that transfer from Lipscomb specifically, or just guys?
So it's a little. We're just going in general. Who on the current roster?
Yeah. I mean, I think we talked about it, but Jaden Booth, the Florida Southern College transfer. If you go look at his highlights, there's a pretty funny video of him stealing. Again, a nice. I think it was. They picked the pocket of who was a little short guy on our team last year that played at Nova.
Oh, Graziani?
Yeah, he picked Graziani's pocket in the game, so that's kind of cool. You got to go watch that. But he's a certified scorer, absolute.
That's
dog.
hard to do. Dang,
that's certified scorer.
He shot upper 30% from 3. Yeah. He can score really all 3 levels. Kind of plays a little slow, but very methodical and just kind of knows what he's doing whenever he's got the ball in his hands. So, I mean, definitely has what it takes to be first team all SoCon if his game translates to the D1 level.
Grant, anybody different?
I think Boosie, the easy answer. The numbers just jump off the page, right? The 21 points per game, the 2 40-point games, one game, 38 points against Dallas and Nova Southeastern. Yeah, just his ability to score. And then Jackson Pollard, 6'7" forward. He does bring some size, which is what Samford kind of had been lacking, with our small guards we've had in the past. So good to have some more athletic wings, 6'7". He can shoot the tray as well. Not as efficient as Booth. Booth just had a lot of attempts, and he was definitely Florida Southern College's best player, who had another guy on his team transfer to Florida State. So that team must have been loaded the way they were. That guy's moving on last year. So yeah, I think it's Boosie obviously answered the way his numbers and tape just jump off the page.
Who was the first mock? UTC or Florida Southern? If you're watching the YouTube, the Florida Southern highlights, apparently they're the mocks. But the old mocks, the moccasins, UTC rebranded about, 15 years ago. It'd be good. I should think about that one. We'll find the answer.
Yeah.
Grant, starting with you. Birmingham Sports also asked, who do you think will contribute the most at their new school? Trey Ford, Jaden Brownell, or Josh Holloway. So Trey's at Michigan State, Jaden is at Southern California, and Josh is at A&M.
We don't need to rehash, but Mike and I have kind of talked about what we think that the best role for Josh would be, and Bucky's still filling out his roster. I think the easier answer is probably Trey Ford going to Michigan State. Michigan State shooting was just, as we saw, was just so bad last year. They had nobody that could shoot outside the 3. So basically, no matter whatever, I forgot what Trey shot from 3, but Michigan State definitely struggled. We're in the 200s when it comes to 3-point shooting, and I trust Izzo to kind of find
the 200s.
Yeah, and I try to find. According to KenPom, they were they were 319th in 3-point percentage per KenPom.
Bro, honestly, if they're 200, they win the national championship.
Yeah,
didn't they make the Elite 8? That's maybe one of the more impressive things I've ever heard of that nobody's talking about.
And because
that's absurd.
Because on defense, they were second in the country, limiting teams to 28 points, 28% from 3. So you had that kind of both
offsets.
Yeah, offset too. So yeah, and I trust Izzo to find a way to get Trey some much needed shots, especially if he's coming off the bench and playing 15 to 20 minutes and getting some good looks.
That's so bad.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good.
I'm shocked they were in the Elite 8. Oh my God.
What was that ranking in the country for 3-point percentage?
319th in the country.
What was VMI 320?
Tennessee Martin was 320. VMI. Oh wow, VMI was 321. Look at that.
Oh my gosh.
Look at that.
Citadel was 353. Yeah, they're in the same kind of bracket on KenPom as East Carolina, Army, Kent State, Richmond, Rider. Oh gosh, Seton Hall is that bad. Jace Richardson shot 41% from three last year. The next closest is Jackson Kohler, their sharpshooter off the bench, 37. But yeah, they had two guys shooting over 35% from three.
That's so
It's
poor.
insane.
Mike, who do you think will contribute the most?
35% is like the baseline requirement to play in Bucky's system.
It should be the baseline requirement for a scholarship.
Yeah. I hate Grant and I always agree on these questions, so I also think Trey Fort. I mean, he kind of got slow at Samford in the back half of the season, but if he can shoot remotely consistent enough, like he did at the first half of the season at Samford, then I think he could probably carve out a role. I think Josh Holloway probably just lacks the scoring ability or the shooting ability to play consistent minutes in the SEC,
Shooting,
and then USC signed a couple of other forwards after Brownell signed. Like I think they just maybe today got that Baker Mazzara kid from Auburn. So I just wonder if there's going to be too much competition for Brownell to really carve out a solid role at USC.
Yeah, I was reading a story about Josh that some A&M reporter had when he signed. Said, it had his 3-point shooting numbers. His freshman year, he shot 27.1%, something like that. Sophomore year last year, he shot like 28.2. So like he literally jumped like 1% where he came to three, shooting a little bit more. For him to play off ball over at A&M, he's going to have to shoot the three a lot more. Those teams are just going to leave him over there and dare him to shoot because he's going to struggle when it comes to that.
But if you leave him open, he'll drive on you. So if you give him space,
it's a little different when you're driving on the SEC centers.
I think he'll be fine. I mean, because think about when we played Arizona, Michigan State, who was the one we talked about it then? Who was the one guy that didn't look like a fish out of water? He did.
Yeah.
So I think driving wise, I think he's good enough for the SEC.
Yeah, he played 26 minutes against Arizona too. So.
All right. The only other note before we get to the Hall of Fame class, Noah Martin received a camp invite to the Bills. Pretty sweet. Everybody remembers Nathan East getting an invite to the Chargers. I think he made the Chargers practice squad. He never made it into a game, I don't think.
Right. That's right.
But Noah Martin getting a shot at the NFL. Odds are never great when you're just receiving a camp invite, but you never know. The dude is a beast. And he would fit well into the Bills culture. Super physical player. Excited to see if he can survive camp. Best of luck, Noah. And then Grant, Samford Hall of Fame 2025 class.
Yeah, Samford inducted their newest Hall of Fame class over the weekend. I'll break down the top level and then go with any questions you guys can throw at me. I'll have the release here. As a new inductees included the 1991 football team. Terry Bowden was there to get the honor and share the honor with the team. James Bradbury, who we all know, Ashley Cope, track and field, Joey Davenport for men's basketball, and then Bill Langford for men's basketball as well. In addition to the Hall of Fame class, Ricky and Mary Ann Moon were given the John C. Pittman Lifetime Achievement Award. So your class was the 91 football team, Bradbury, Ashley Cope, Joey Davenport, whose son Cooper's coming to Samford next year, and Bill Langford.
When did the basketball players play?
Joey played at Samford from 1992 to 1996. He is fourth all-time leading scorer in program history with over 1,600 points. He scored over 400 points in 3 seasons, averaged 16 points per game for his career.
What?
He is Samford's all-time leader in career free throws made and second in free throw attempts, shooting 82% from the field.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Wow. And
then Bill played for Howard College from 1954 to 1957. He shares the school record for scoring average in a season, averaging 23.4 points per game. His 631 points he scored during that year ranked third in school history for a single season. And then for his career, he ranks fifth in program history with over 1,600 points. And he became high school and JUCO college coached at Jeff State for a little while. So,
yep. Is Bill still alive?
Bill is no longer with us. Correct.
Okay. Yeah. I was about to say, wow and wow. That makes more sense.
Yeah, I believe he passed away in 2018, 2019. So,
okay.
It's awesome.
That's a long life.
Him getting the honor, yeah. There you go.
And then you said Davenport played in the early 90s, or early to mid 90s.
Correct, 92 to 96.
And then who were the two P's? There was a couple that won an award?
Yes. Ricky and Mary Ann Moon were given the John C. Pittman Lifetime Achievement Award.
And who were they?
He earned his bachelor's degree from Samford in 1977 and his master's in 97, while his wife is a graduate of 1976. Since graduating from the school, they've been among the biggest supporters of all of Samford's 17 athletic teams. So there you go.
Monetarily.
I hope they are now. Yes,
the opposite
yes.
of how we support.
Precisely.
And Joey Davenport also, his name is now on the practice court, so it's now Joey Davenport Family Court. So
That's cool.
So cool with his son coming as a preferred walk-on. So
it's sad that
cool.
we didn't have a Hall of Fame before Martin got there, because you got to think about all the people that probably would have been in there to begin with. But better late than never.
Exactly. The Hall of Fame first started in, I believe, 2017 was the first class. So
yeah, that sounds right. Did they post a cool video?
They posted little videos online for all the inductees, so they have that too. I haven't seen anything from the actual event.
I love those videos. Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't care about the event. I like seeing the who are they, what they did. Those are sweet.
Yeah, those are cool. They're on Samford's YouTube page if you want to go find those.
Cool. All right, boys, let's get to State of the Bulldogs. Mike, hit it off. Men's tennis. Finally got to tennis. 30 minutes into this bad boy.
Crazy. I missed last week's episode, so I don't know what you guys covered, but obviously they won the SoCon regular season and tournament championships, which gives them a berth into the NCAA tournament, which is starting here soon. Bracket was just released. Similar style to baseball, where you've got like your regionals and then supers, and we're playing in Columbia, South Carolina. We have Florida State first round, which we have played twice in our school's history, 0-2 all time. Last match was in 2022. And if we beat Florida State, we would take on the winner of South Carolina and VCU. South Carolina obviously hosting there in Columbia, and they're the 13th overall team in the country. So this is pretty big. It's first win, first SoCon tournament win for Samford since 2013, which not to date Sam and I, but was our senior year of high school.
Yes.
Long time ago.
That is accurate.
We are old.
It's pretty sweet that we have a men's tennis team, a tennis team going to the NCAAs, and it's even cooler that our coach was on the last team that was anywhere near this good. Look, crazier things have happened. It's the 3 seed versus the 2 seed. We could definitely take on Florida State and see what happens. They're not necessarily coming in hot. I think they got bounced in the first or second round of the ACC tournament. So, I don't know, maybe score a little upset. Would be tough if we did get past them. It would be tough to beat the home team in South Carolina, who will presumably beat VCU. But nonetheless, pretty awesome. I think what time is the match on Friday?
They haven't set a time yet as we're recording, but it's going to be sometime Friday.
All right. Well, and then what do we play on?
ESPN Plus, maybe?
It's definitely on ESPN Plus.
That'd be sweet.
If not somewhere else.
Well,
yeah.
But definitely stream.
Yeah,
and do we play on Saturday?
That's a good question. Maybe Friday, Sunday.
NCAA did not have a schedule on their bracket. Shocker.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, they don't have it out yet. Yeah, selection show is just this afternoon, so maybe they have it out by the time or they should have it out by the time this drops. But,
Thursday night.
Yeah. Yeah, I did want to play one little thing from Coach Reynolds. Samford had their watch party today, and just a little thing what he said, like how much it meant to his guys that they got the chance to experience this.
Let's hear it.
To see these guys cheering and be able to applaud what this season has been and what it will continue to be. Just how special a moment today is like this.
It's just these guys will never forget today. It's just the one thing we wanted for these guys is to be able to create some stories, create some memories, have some opportunities for them to be able to just look back on this year and be able to feel like they gave everything they got. They were able to conquer quite a bit, and obviously, they're going to go into this tournament playing without any pressure, and I mean that's something for them that you've got some darn good players on this team. So if they can show up and play well, I wouldn't want to be on the other side of it. So I'm happy for our guys. Hopefully, we'll show up this week and play well.
He's right. No pressure. Florida State's going to be feeling a lot of pressure, and it is cool just like seeing your seeing your team come up on the board, like that's sick. Always has been, always will be. And other thoughts, boys, before we get to baseball?
See what happens. Let's go. Let's do it.
Yeah. Oh, great. You did mention before recording. It's like no matter what sport it is.
Oh
If
yeah.
it's the postseason, it's against Florida State.
Yeah, Dead Texas and Sanford playing Florida State baseball
Yeah.
team has played
So
Florida State
dumb.
twice
It's
when
so
they made the
dumb.
tournament. Women's soccer played them
Women's
last year.
soccer, yes.
And now men's tennis gets their chance to play Florida State. So, yep.
It's annoying.
Yeah.
Anyway, baseball. Boys were limping into the final stretch of the season. Lost our series to Western Carolina. Despite Western having one of the worst defense pitching teams in the SoCon, we somehow only scored 3 runs over 2 games, of which we lost. Offense did wake up to salvage game 3. But here's the crappy part. Puts us tied with Mercer in second place. And remember, the top 2 seeds get the double bye in baseball. It don't matter if you're the 1 seed. All you got to be is top 2 seed. And now that is put in jeopardy. And we have a tough stretch to end the season. We take on Mercer and UNCG. So to me, I think we have to win both of those series to have a legitimate shot at the 2 seed. If we beat Mercer and then drop to UNCG, there's still a path, I guess. ETSU looks to have it locked up. They're not, the lead isn't, like theoretically, I guess we could be the 1 seed. The 1 seed is not out of the question, but presumably they'll be the 1 seed, and then the 2 is up for grabs. We got Auburn in the midweek, dropped the Bama midweek last week, but this one's at the Met.
So close.
Always a fun event. And then I wanted to give a shout out to Jeffrey and Parker McDonald, who just stand out on the stat sheet in conference play. So when the offense has been looking a little shaky, at least it's been inconsistent the last several weeks. But these 2 guys have been putting in the work and producing at the plate, and we're going to need them to keep doing it, and we're going to need more guys to step up. Funny, guys, I was looking over the stats. No one is on pace for the Stephen Klein Award, which is more walks than strikeouts. Garrett Howe won last year, shocker. No one is even really that close. The closest guy is Entz, but he has a deficit of 11, 30 walks, 41 Ks. That's not probably going to turn around. Yeah, and I think that's telling. Like the fact that there's no one really that close speaks to the kind of the up and down nature of this team, even though that is a very anecdotal stat to look at. And then Grant, you gave us the injury update. Trey Higgins out for the season after what looked like not that nasty of a slide into second, but hurt his leg really bad apparently. So he's out. And then a little updated RPI for the SoCon. Got ETSU still at the top, dropped a little bit. They're at 50. Mercer's at 66. After our series loss to Western, we're now sitting at 89. Western creeped up to 106. UNCG's at 111. Citadel is at 119. Wofford 126, and then VMI 231. Grant, softball.
Tough weekend for the stickball sports. Both teams
Sad.
struggled this weekend. Softball was swept by Chattanooga over the weekend at Chattanooga. Chattanooga now sits alone atop the SoCon standings with 1 series to play this weekend. 3 close games. Samford lost first game 4-3, and then lost the second game in that doubleheader 1-0, then lost the third game 5-1. So some close contests, just couldn't find a way to get it done on the road. We're currently tied for third with Wofford. Series will probably determine who gets the 3 seed, with UTC and UNCG kind of sitting a little farther out. Chat is 13-4 atop the conference. UNCG is 12-6. Then Wofford and Samford are 11-7. So they could give the 2 seed, but again, a big series this weekend, hosting Wofford, doubleheader on Friday, then playing Saturday afternoon. Wanted to shout out Sarah Squatchy and Olivia Shaw for their conference play so far. They're both hitting Sarah's hitting 460 in SoCon play, then Olivia's hitting 415 in SoCon play. So really good to see your older players really step up and kind of show up when they need them most, and they're going to need them especially this weekend against Wofford. Quick RPI update for Warren Nolan. Chattanooga's in first and at 43rd. UNCG is second at 60. Samford is right there with Mercer. Samford at 76th and third. Mercer 79th. Wofford kind of a little bit further down at 100th. Then you keep getting further down. Western at 185th. Furman at 217, and ETSU rounding up the bottom. So the last series for Samford softball this weekend before the SoCon Tourney, which is in 2 weeks.
Yeah, it would be awesome if we could snag the 2 seed, but UTC and UNCG both play. They're either playing Western and Furman or ETSU and Western. Both are playing one of the bottom 3 teams, so most likely a sweep, but you never know. I mean, you really do never know. And I think Sarah and Olivia, I could be wrong, but I think their on-base percentages are both over 50%, which is nuts.
Probably fair. Yeah. Get on base.
They'd be going to the MLB draft if they played baseball.
Yeah, exactly.
That's ridiculous. All right, boys. Any other thoughts? Mike, Grant, Hall of Fame class, basketball.
Did report last week we got the game contract for Samford and Texas A&M playing football, not basketball, playing football. Too much. I tweeted out too much overlap with the Aggies. It's weird. It just irks me, even though I have a lot of family who go there. Samford will receive a $550,000 from A&M for the game in November 22nd. That is Samford's regular season finale. They also play Baylor week 2. Baylor's a private school, so you're not going to get that monetary information from Baylor. So yeah, we're able to get it from A&M via getting the game contract via an open records request that Samford's getting over $500K to travel down to College Station for their game. So making some money this fall.
You think Baylor's paying more or less?
Probably less. It's about the same. I went back and looked at the last 4 or 5 times for FBS games, and they've kind of hovered around the same 475 to.
You don't get a.
This is actually the most we've received over the last 4 to 5 years. Getting from A&M 550, and then also getting 300 tickets as well, so which is pretty cool. So
you don't think there's a little Baptist bump?
Let's slap in the face. 300 tickets when they hold 102,000 or something like that.
Who cares?
What's the point?
Who wants to go? Here's the deal: if you go to College Station, you risk getting an Aggie disease. Is it even worth the risk? We're going to be taking the risk, but is it worth it? I don't know. You might get bit by the bug. Might get drowned at fish camp. Who knows?
Yeah, it's also different for those that went down there when you're getting a paycheck from them too. So you don't
can't wait to see what their little holler boys, whatever you call them, say about Samford.
Yeah, the yell leaders.
The yell leaders, yeah.
Yell leaders, yeah.
Ragnar the Great Aggie or whatever his name is. What's the...
Revelry, yeah.
No,
the dog.
No. They have like a whole mythos.
Oh yeah.
There's a I don't know his name.
Too much overlap.
Yeah. We'll take all your money and please schedule us in basketball too.
Yeah, we'll take your money there too. We need to complete the trade. We need some basketball money. Yeah.
Complete the trade. I love that idea. The year 2025 in college sports, complete the trade.
Yeah, we traded quarterbacks. Might as well just trade with schools now. The way Texas, Tennessee, and UCLA just traded the quarterbacks. So
that's possible. Right. Well, and hey, Jimbo's still waiting in the wings. He has not signed a coaching contract. So if Hatch decides to hang it up early,
that's a fair trade.
That's a very fair. I will take that trade all day.
We give them a coach and a player, and we get a coach.
That's right.
2 for 1.
Those Jimbo press conferences would be electric.
It'd be awesome. They'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Anyway, with that said, Stay the Bulldogs is out. Hope everybody has a fantastic week. Stay the Bulldogs is out.